everybody, it is your girl Star Tanner, aka Trendsetter Tina, the owner, CEO, and founder of the official website www.startannerproductions.com. This is Fruity Loops tutorial number 2. It is a series that I have decided to teach for the beginner beat maker. If you didn't check out my last tutorial, the first one, it pretty much just shows you the fundamentals and some of the basic functions of Fruity Loop Studio 10. It just shows you, the sound bar, what the channel box is, what the different patterns are, and so forth and so on. So if you didn't check that out, please do check that out. In today's lesson, I'm going to, well, first off, I had a viewer of the last tutorial, and they had asked me to talk about beat or sound placements within the pattern box, or just within the beat that you're making, how to make that beat sound on key. Now, I can't stress the fact enough that the metronome here is key when making an instrumental, because your metronome, what that does is it lets you know where you should place the note at. So for the sake of time, I left the tempo at 130, which is the default tempo when you first open up Fruity Loop Studio 10. And I also left the pattern box with the default sounds inside of there. So what I first want to do is I want to see how fast the sound is going to play. That's pretty fast enough. I want to go in here and start laying down my kicks. Now you have the option of placing your kicks within the actual little square boxes. You can hear how it sounds now. Really don't like how that sounds, so what I want to do is I want to go to the kick, I want to right click, and I want to go to send to piano roll. Once I go to send to piano roll, this dialog box will open, and it will have the ABC function, which gives you the name of the notes that you're in. But I want to make it look like an actual piano. If I don't have a MIDI keyboard, wow, there it is. There is my piano roll there on the side. I'm in the C5 note. I want to shorten this kick up, so I right click, hold it, and drag it back. And what I do is I really just play with the keys until I have the desired kick sound that I want. So let's hear it. And I move it, move the single kicks where I want them to be. So say, for example, I like the way this kick sounds, and I don't really want to waste my time going in and continuing to redo these kicks over and over again. What I want to do is I want to hold down the control key, left click, and drag over the certain sound. Then I want to hold down the shift key, left click, and drag. What that does is that'll give you a repetition in the pattern that you just made. So let's hear it. I like that. I like the way that sounds. It's to my liking. And once again, you can also just, change the way it sounds, or, if you want to add a deeper note or a higher note. That's what the piano roll is for, is basically like you have an actual piano. So I like that, and I want to put some strings in here. So let's hear how these certain strings sound. If you want a particular sound in there, what you want to do is you want to left click that, drag and drop it on top of the particular sound box that you want it in. And if you can't hear that sound, you want to right click, wham. Okay, that sounds good. So and since I have it on all in the same channel, it's all going to play at one time. Excuse me, y'all. Keep getting text messages. So anyway. Once again, I like the way that sounds. Hold down the control key, drag, hold down the shift key, click, and drag it over to where I want it to be. So I like the way that sounds, and I actually want to lay that down as a part of my song. I want that to be the introduction to my song. So I click this here. This is for the pattern box, which will bring you to this. And then this is for the song, which will bring you to the overall song that you want to place it in. So I like that there. And I also want it to repeat right after that. So instead of me going back into the channel box and doing it all over again, I can just left click. It'll bring that up again. Line it up. Make sure it sounds right with your metronome. Again, I cannot stress the fact that the metronome is there for your safety when you're making an instrumental. So I like the way that sounds. Let's hear it. I want to go back to my channel box and I actually want to add some hi-hats. So wherever your hi-hats are, wherever they are, like the way that hat sounds, drag and drop it. Go to the piano roll. I want my hi-hats to go really fast. And I'm just basically just placing them in there. And another thing that I want to let you guys know, say for example you want to just play the hi-hats, you want to hear how the hi-hats sound, it's best to go to your piano roll. You make sure the hi-hat is selected. You go up here to your piano roll and you just want to hear the hi-hats. You'll want these green buttons here is to turn off that particular sound or turn it on. I want those two to be turned off and I just want to hear my hi-hats play. So let's hear it. And I have it on 8 count. So it's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, do I have it on the 8th note? Let me check. Yes, I do. And it's playing on an 8th note. Want to hold down, say for example, you don't like the way one sound is sounding in there. A particular note is sounding in that channel or that pattern that you're making. You right click it and you can delete those sounds. But I like the way that's sounding, and you know what? I'm gonna keep that. So once I have my desired sound, I can play the whole thing. I want these hi-hats to go longer, so do the same thing. Now that I have that first part down, I want that to be a part of the song. Once again, wham, look, it's right there. Inside of the panel that you're going to be putting all of your patterns to make a full sound. Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about, say for example, I mean, there's so many options here in Fruity Loops Studio 10, but as you notice, these boxes are pretty rectangular. You have the option, what you want to do is you want to go to that arrow there at the top left corner of the piano row that you're in. I want those to be kind of rounded. So I go to view, and I want those to be, those square boxes to become rounded. And what that does is it makes those look rounded. I mean, you have, or you know, you could change it to different things that you want, but also the metronome. Say for example, I don't like that rim shot sound, I don't like the ticking noise. I can right click on the metronome. I could change it to a hi-hat sound, a tick sound, or a beep sound. Like I said, always have the metronome on, because it's going to let you know how fast or how slow your beat is going to be playing throughout the song. I mean, in certain parts of the song, if you want it to really, really slow down, you can change your, you can make your metronome go a bit slower. Say for example, you already put the beat, the certain patterns in there, and you want to just slow the whole entire pattern down, the whole entire song down. This tempo controls the whole entire song, not just a particular pattern. So I don't like how slow it's going, or how fast, or where it's at the moment. So I want it to slow down. Let's hear how it sounds. If I want to turn the metronome off, I can simply click it where it's grayed out, and it'll just be my beat. So that is how you actually place a particular note onto the entire instrumental. You really have to do it by pattern, by channel, and then you go to the full song. So what you want to do is you want to go here, and I think it's also best to learn how to compose an instrumental, because I know a lot of people as beginner beat makers, we're not sure how to make a song sound like a song. And I'll let you know right off the bat, there is no particular way in starting a song or making an instrumental, but there is a particular kind of format that you want to have. It's almost like a story you're telling when you're making an instrumental. You know, you want to have an intro, you want to have a body, you want to have a conclusion, you want to have a plot, you want to have a climax, you want to have where it slowly fades out, you want to have a chorus, you want to have your verse, you want to have your ending. I mean, just think of it, think of your instrumental as a story. You're telling a story through your instrumental for the artist, or for the multimedia company, or for whatever you're doing your beat for. You want to tell a story, and that's really when your creative powers come into play, when you make an instrumental.